Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and I thought it was as good as time as any to start talking about Star Wars Episode 9, which is slated for the release at the end of the year. So the Super Bowl has come and went, and there has been no teaser trailer, nothing's been released on YouTube, there's no subtitle announced for the film. You know, we knew in January of 2017, the release year of The Last Jedi, what the subtitle was going to be, and likewise for The Force Awakens. So, you know, now we don't know what this movie is going to be called. Now, I was a fan of The Last Jedi. You know, everybody knows that. People give me shit over that. You know, a lot of people agree with me and disagreed. It was about 50-50. The film, you know, I'm willing to admit, the film was a disappointment in the box office. Now, when it came to the Solo movie, that I was on board with some of the haters because that movie really could have been a lot better. I didn't think it was a piss-poor movie, but it was definitely a movie that I said was just okay. I remember even my review said that I said it was an okay movie. I think I even said it was like a good movie, but I wouldn't go back and see it. And then actually, as I really, you know, thought it over and thought about like how I was feeling in the theater, like, I'm like, how is this really a good movie? A movie that's good would make me want to go back to see it. The Last Jedi made me want to go back and see that movie 2 more times because despite its flaws, there was just so much to like about that movie. Seeing Kylo Ren and Rey fight side by side, you know, why Snoke was in, you know, after killing Snoke and everything, and the shock and the awe of that, you know, and just even seeing Mark Hamill interacting with Daisy Ridley, you know, it was just, I really liked the movie. It had a lot to offer, and, you know, even though it had some negative points, I thought that the positives really outweighed the negatives. And I'm sorry, but you know how we do things on this channel. I stick to my guns. I like what I like, and I say what I like here, and I don't really try to please anybody. If you're on board with what I have to say, then that's all the better. But, you know, needless to say, I enjoyed the movie. So, but after what happened with Solo, Disney is treading lightly. You know, they postponed basically all the Star Wars movies that were set for release, and that included the Boba Fett film, the Obi-Wan Kenobi film, which, you know, since they fucked up the Solo film, the Obi-Wan Kenobi film, that one, you know, that one better turn out good, and they better select Ewan McGregor, I swear. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Episode 9. And, you know, what is going on with Episode 9? You know, there hasn't been a lot of details. We don't know what's going on. The one thing that we did find out, and there was an article released today on that, which prompted me to make this video, is that Billy Dee Williams will be returning as Lando Calrissian in this film. Now, that's good. And, you know, probably one of the strongest performances of Solo was the guy trying to act like Billy Dee Williams and succeeding to a certain extent. It was probably one of the high points of such a, you know, low point film. You know, so getting to see the real Lando in the film, that's definitely going to be a real high point here for this particular movie. Now, you know, a lot of people are thinking about, you know, that what Disney should do and what J.J. Abrams should do is totally, you know, retcon The Last Jedi. Which, you know, I think that would just be like a miserable idea to do something like that. Because as it is, they're already, you know, retconning the prequel films, which I disagree with. They're sort of doing that. They're not really fully committed to it, but they are sort of retconning them, and then they went ahead and they made Solo and put Darth Maul at the end, so I don't really know where they stand anymore on that retconning. But it's like, you know, to retcon The Last Jedi, I mean, okay, maybe if there's like some parts that maybe they want to kind of simply forget about, but, you know, there was a lot of good that happened. Mostly what most people want to see retconned is Luke Skywalker. They want to see him brought back to life. They weren't happy about that. Same way with Han Solo dying in the first one. You know, I kind of disagree with that. You know, what they really wanted to do, and I understand, I would have not minded seeing Mark Hamill make an appearance in another film. I could definitely see those arguments. Same thing goes for seeing Harrison Ford in Last Jedi. That would have been great, but I know what they wanted to do, and I explained it already in the previous reviews I made of both films. They wanted to try to make, you know, Ben be a, you know, Kylo Ren. They wanted to try to make him a big villain. And what a better way to make, you know, Ben a better villain than to make him, you know, kill two of the most popular Star Wars icons of all time. But people weren't ready for that. A lot of people don't like the calm demeanor of Kylo Ren. You know, they want somebody a bit more ferocious. And, you know, he did deliver a lot more in The Last Jedi than he did in The Force Awakens. And that's kind of like one of the things that, you know, I just don't understand. Is like, you know, I always believe that even if you hate something, and take it from me, you see here all the time on this channel, I talk about things I dislike, but I always give credit where credit's due. Even if you don't like Kylo Ren as a character, you still have to admit that at least, you know, the performance was way better in Last Jedi than it was in Force Awakens. So, you know, in the third film, you know, now there's no chance of him ever coming to the light side, because what he did with Luke, you know, there was chance for redemption. You saw Rey tried her hardest to try to pull him over to the side of the light, and he just wasn't having it. Kylo Ren just wasn't having it. And so now, you know, now we're in the final chapter of the new trilogy, and now, you know, in this film, he should be darker than ever. And I feel like, you know what they should do? Like, really? Like, remember Anakin's eyes in Revenge of the Sith? Go for that. Please, you know, go for those eyes. And also, you know what would also be awesome? Remember what they did in the Old Republic? This was really awesome what they did. Remember, the more you would go to the dark side, remember the skin would start to deteriorate? And, you know, almost like your skin was just kind of ripping apart because, like, the evil was infesting you within. I say go for that. How awesome would that be? You know, to just have, you know, Kylo Ren just look fucking, like, hideous, like shit. Like, you know, why don't they do that? You know, they always once in a while start putting in little hints of the expanded universe, you know, and that would be awesome if they could do something like that. Those little touches would be great. But what can they introduce in episode 9 that would, you know, do the film justice? You know, like, so we don't repeat the same mistakes of The Last Jedi. And the one thing that's going to be really interesting about episode 9 is, like, can you even think about it? I don't even really see too many people thinking or talking about it here on YouTube, at least from the videos that I've seen. Is like, so what are they gonna do with the situation with Carrie Fisher? So, you know, when I was watching Last Jedi, and, you know, the starship that Carrie Fisher was on, when that shit blew up, I was like, okay, that's the end of Carrie Fisher. That's how they're going to write her off, because she was dead in reality. And that was perfectly understandable. You know, okay, so it might have been, like, anticlimactic. You know, she's been through the Battle of Endor and everything, and she fucking survived shootouts and stuff like that. And to see her perish, just get on a blown-up spaceship, I mean, you know, it would have been a little bit anticlimactic to the character, but it would be understandable because, you know, sadly she has passed away. She's not with us anymore. So to have her get written off in that way, you know, the footage, it would add up, and no one could really dispute saying that. But, you know, we did see Carrie Fisher make an appearance in Rogue One. And it was really interesting. You know, we saw her face at the end, you know, and it was like CGI, and a lot of people had a problem with that. So then when she showed up in Last Jedi and they still had footage of her, I don't think that they have any footage of her, unless they're going to try to splice something together with, you know, deleted scenes from The Last Jedi. You know, I just don't really see it happening. I don't know. You know, I think what they're going to do is they're going to do one of two things. Okay. And I don't, you know, so this is how I think J.J. Abrams is going to do it. I think that they're just, like, going to explain it. Because, well, and then again, I don't really know. Because I don't know really, like, what kind of a guy J.J. Abrams is. You know, it seems like Disney put J.J. Abrams back on the project because they were not happy with the way Rian Johnson ran the project. He upset the fans too much. And, you know, this is one of the things that confuses me. So it's like they see the backlash from the films and, like, they made some changes. They threw Rian Johnson off the project. But then, you know, you talk about the video games and people are, like, raging against that shit. And, you know, and the CEO of Disney is just fine about that. But okay, so, you know, the films are, like, more their bread and butter. You know, why, I don't know, because, you know, video games could make just as much money sometimes. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about the films. So, you know, they threw Rian Johnson off the project, and now you've got J.J. Abrams back at the helm. So, like, the question here is, so how is he going to handle the situation with Carrie Fisher? Many people didn't like the CGI face in, you know, in Rogue One. I really didn't mind it. I thought it was good. I did. You know, it's like people were like, oh, it looks so fake. It looked way better than most other CGI I've seen. I don't know. For a human face, it did it for me. To see it return, you know, would I like to have it or not have it? You know, like, I say, like, as long as she's not CGI'd through the whole movie and you want to do, like, one little quick surprise scene. But here, like, there's a lot of, like, stuff left over. So, what I'm thinking here is like, I think they kind of fucked up. I think they should have really worked something out with the scenes. And just, I don't know, like, maybe they should have just had her meet her demise on that blown up spaceship, and they shouldn't have had her, you know, find her way, you know, back to the ship, remember, by using the Force. So it's like, now they kind of put themselves in the corner. And that's really Rian Johnson's fault. I mean, it was his direction of the film that led them to the situation that they're in now. At the last minute, he could have went back and deleted some stuff out of there. Because, like, what were they doing? Unless they have a plan now. I don't know. You know, I might be looking stupid in December when the film comes out. And lo and behold, they have some fucking thing that they were saving to totally explain it. But I just don't see post-mortem how that's fucking possible. Because if they were going to write her off, they would have done it already. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe they do have something planned for episode 9. I don't know, but it's kind of like I'm doubting it. If they do have something saved up, like I said, that would be totally awesome. That would be great. It's something that I would like to see. I'm looking forward to it. But if not, then that's just plain dumb. They're going to go into that movie. They're going to CGI her up again like Rogue One. And, you know, like, okay, and like, what are they going to do with the voice? And not only that, but, like, you know, what are they going to do? What's going to be the reason of why she's not going to be there? How are they going to write off the character? And, you know, just like verbally writing off a character in Star Wars, that hasn't been done. And it's just going to look kind of poor. You know, like, what are they going to say? Oh, she went off on an indefinite vacation or something like that. I don't know. If they could come up with some kind of crazy explanation, then that would be good. But I just, you know, we kind of know how these things go. So it's like, you know, and I'm the guy who liked The Last Jedi. But you know, it's like, it's going to be very, very hard to find a solution to this problem that everyone's going to be happy with. But like I said with The Last Jedi, you can't worry about that. You can't worry about satisfying all the fans. All I'm saying is that you probably backed yourself into a corner here that you're not going to be able to escape from. And the thing is, you did have a solution. When the ship blew up, that probably should have been it. And, you know, it still would, we still would have sat back and said it's lame, because, it would have been, but we would have all understood why it was lame, because she's dead, and you can't do anything about that. That was an act of God, and there's no way that you could avoid a real-life situation like that. You know, the movie was not finished at the time of her death. You know, they were still shooting it, so it would be perfectly understandable. And we'd look back in the history and we'd say, give Rian Johnson a break, because Carrie Fisher died during filming. So there was only so many opportunities they could do to have a good send-off for her. So, you know, I don't know how you go into this film thinking about that, but I don't really see a lot of people mentioning it. I think it is sort of a means for concern, especially when, you know, you've rebooted this whole trilogy. And like I said, you can't avoid what happened in real life, but, you know, there should have been some greater care to detail and better foresight when it came to that. So, you know, I just hope that, you know, this is very important. You know, they got to bring it home. So far, they've done it very well 2 times so far. The original trilogy, Return of the Jedi, was the perfect cap-off. Many people will talk about Ewoks and second Death Stars being, you know, kind of, you know, samey and shit like that. I thought it was excellent. I think it's an amazing movie, Return of the Jedi. And Revenge of the Sith, I have no qualms with saying that that movie is amazing as well. And even some of the biggest critics of the prequels will even admit that that is a pretty good way to cap off the prequel trilogy, and many people enjoyed it. Even a lot of the haters. Some people will still say, you know, all 3 are bad and all that, but, you know, those are kind of like the real die-hard haters, but, you know, and I kind of ignore those people at that point, because they're if you can look at Revenge of the Sith and not find anything good with it, then I kind of question just, you know, really how, like, deep down committed you are to that hatred, or if you're just trying to, like, carry out a theme there of, like, I'm just a purist, I love the original trilogy. And that's all fine and well, but I just don't believe most people could be truly that committed to it, unless you really just love the original cast and you can't watch anything else. Then it's kind of understandable. You know, we all have our opinions and we all have our preferences. But so, you know, I believe that with Return of the Jedi and Revenge of the Sith, we got it pretty good both times. You know, good conclusions to those stories. So episode 9 needs to be more than just fan service. Oh, Lando's returning. Okay, great. You know, I'm all for Billy D. Williams. I'm a fan of that character. I like him and everything. You know, we all know that there's going to be a depressing moment when he's probably going to be notified of Han's passing and everything. You know, but this film's supposed to be taking place a year after the events of The Last Jedi, and, you know, Last Jedi takes place right after Force Awakens. So the news is going to be getting to Lando kind of late, so, you know, I don't know, unless he's going to have heard of it already. I don't know, but anyway, this has got to be really good. They've got to bring it home, and they've got to make it excellent. And I think they've got to try a little bit harder here. You know, and like I said, even coming from somebody who liked The Last Jedi, because you just had a little bit too much of hatred for that last film. You know, I think you kind of have to address some of the concerns, you know, and definitely I think it would be better off if you don't do any more casino scenes. Probably, you know, stay away from, you know, what's her name? Rose, you know, probably, like, don't go back to her. I'm just saying, I don't really have a problem with that character, but it's like, it would just be better, you know, because it's like, I don't really, like that character. I don't love that character, but it's probably better off that you kind of just come up with an excuse of why she's not there, because people don't like her, and in a situation like that, it's probably best off if it's not a beloved character and people just don't like her. Just get rid of her. You know, that's what I'm saying. And I'm pretty sure that J.J. Abrams is probably going to make sure that he removes a lot of the content we saw from The Last Jedi and make sure it doesn't return in Episode 9. Because I know that what this move is damage control. That's why Disney is putting them there, because they saw that Force Awakens got a much more positive reception than The Last Jedi. The other thing that, like, is kind of weird is that a lot of people liked Force Awakens when it came out, but then, like, after Last Jedi came out and people didn't enjoy that, they kind of just together said, like, okay, well, you know, both of the movies are bad. It's like, well, what happened? You said that the first, and, you know, they said it was too much like the original Star Wars, was too much like A New Hope, so I don't know. But I'm trusting in J.J. Abrams. I think he's going to do a good job. I think we're going to get something that's at least good. I think they're going to be very careful. That's kind of why they canceled all their other projects. I think they're really focusing in on this. I just wish that there was, like, more promise surrounding it. I kind of like that there's not a lot of details around it, and there's just, like, little tiny leaks and, you know, things with costumes being shown on Reddit. It kind of shows that they're very focused on this project, that I'm hoping, like, this is just wishful thinking kind of, but I kind of do feel a little something in my heart. You know, I kind of have a little bit of an intuition here that I feel that they're really focused on this project and they're going to try to make it good, and they're going to do good things that are going to please the Star Wars fans. So, guys, here's to hoping that Episode 9 is great and that we can all enjoy it together as Star Wars fans, and, you know, we don't have to fight like we did with The Last Jedi. You know, it's good, oh, it's bad, oh, fuck the casino scene, ah, you know, floating Princess Leia's, you know, just like, you know, so we don't have to go through that shit, because it was maddening at the time. But, you know, guys, hope it's good. Looking forward to the teaser trailer. Probably won't watch a lot of the trailers like I did for The Last Jedi, because I don't want to be spoiled, because fuck those trailers. They do so much spoiling. Won't be doing that. Anyway, guys, hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and if you want, please subscribe. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. And I did this because I actually wanted to tell you to hit thumbs up. You know, if you did like the video, hit thumbs down if you think I'm out of my mind. How the fuck could you like The Last Jedi? How could you not think Episode 9 is going to suck because The Last Jedi sucked? You know, let me know down in the comments. I'll interact with you down there. And check out some of the other content I have posted here. And once again, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time.